Okay, welcome back everybody. After a quick setup, well, I wouldn't say that quick, but after a setup period, I am back for the third part of the review on the HP 3115M. This will likely be a four-part video. This part is going to be general performance, and I did decide to go ahead and do a gaming performance segment after this. So here goes. Right now, I do have this hooked up to AC power. I do have my external mouse sitting right there, and to make sure that there aren't really any lag problems due to wireless acting up, which it unfortunately has been recently, I'm switching out to Ethernet. And I did find out that this is in fact gigabit Ethernet, so if you're wondering about that, it is. So let's go ahead and do kind of a boot performance test, and I do have several different topics to cover once I get this thing booted. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, I also did some checking as far as performance benchmarks go. Excuse me. As far as it goes, there's a popular CPU test known as Passmark, which is a pretty good way of kind of giving a overall impression of how well a CPU performs. The Passmark score for this particular notebook is 638. So, in comparison... Okay, and Windows booted. Let me go ahead and input my password, and I will continue. Just one moment. Okay, logging in right now. Okay, so Passmark performance score of 638. In comparison, another notebook that I was able to use recently has a Intel Core 2 Duo. This is the older Montevina chip. P8400, which is kind of a lower mid-range processor of that series. That particular... Cancel out of my email. That particular processor scored about a 14 to 1600 Passmark score, so this is a rather slow CPU, I have to admit. Okay, so it's booted up Skype and Core Temp, which is this application right here. This is a free application. I'm not really going to plug it too much, but this is something that I use to monitor temperatures and CPU usage. Got a handy little gadget that replaces that one you can get from just the stock Windows 7 installation. So, this is the display right here. Pretty decent all told. It's a 1366 by 768 glossy display, which viewing angles aren't quite the best, but for the price this notebook is, it really isn't that bad. Okay, so let's go ahead and go down to, went ahead and created a Word file just to... Actually, before that, why don't I go ahead and go down and go for the Windows Experience Index scores. So you can go ahead and see those. So you can see that it is a WEI of 3.4. And going into detail, you have a processor score of 3.4, RAM score of 5.2. Excuse my camera work here. Desktop graphics of 4.2. Gaming graphics of 5.4, 6.5 and a disk score of 5.9. Keep in mind that this is a platter 5400 RPM hard drive versus an SSD. So, getting out of that. Going on to the graphics, let me go ahead and bring up some benchmark scores right quick. The 3D Mark 06, which is an older, if still very popular graphics benchmark. 3D Mark 06 score of 2072. I think this is probably about half as good as the current generation of Intel integrated graphics processors go, the HD 4000. Which, it's not that... Say, graphics performance is significantly outpacing the CPU on this. As far as a more modern graphics benchmark, the 3D Mark Advantage CPU or GPU score on this comes out to a 584. So definitely a low-end GPU, but a bit more than what you would expect out of a netbook. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to a couple more things. I'm going to go ahead and load Microsoft Word right quick. This is kind of a test file, so that's loading. And said it's still loading. There it goes, it's popping right up. So, testing again, please wait. Okay, and let's go ahead and save this file. Did it already save? Let's go ahead and try it again. Guess I did. That's not bad. And currently after that, let's bring this back up. And that's okay. This is something I'll go ahead and mention at least here. And this might be due to the hard drive. I'm not sure. I'll know better when I switch out to an SSD. If I pop this back up from minimized, it kind of hangs a little bit. And I will go ahead and just do some key presses here. But even moving the mouse tends to kind of start working the cores a bit. So anyway, you see I have this YouTube link. So I'm going to go ahead and do is go to that. It is a 1080p testing clip that I found. And so now it's just got to boot up Firefox and go to this YouTube clip. You can tell it's taken a bit. I do have some Firefox add-ons as well, so I do have ad block, no script, stuff like that. If you want to go to this particular video, this is called, and I just wanted to credit the author, although I think this is something that he found as well. It's called Full HD Test 1080p. The account or the user's name is Patrick Hellman. It looks like the description is ein Testvideo in Full HD von Aquos. So I do speak a little bit of German here. Anyway, let's go ahead and fire this one up. It's I think taken off of like a Sharp website or something like that. So I just wanted to do some HD video playback right quick. And also this will give you a good test of, how it sounds like. So, And keep in mind that this is scaling down to scaling from 1080p down to 720p, which also does take some extra horsepower to do. I have noticed some skipping and some drop frames here and there, but it's not too bad. What I will say is that until you get this video buffered, at least on this particular configuration of this system, it will get pretty laggy and pretty choppy. So just as a word of warning to you, I would consider letting your videos buffer as much as possible before starting to play them on this system. It does have some lag issues. So tell that was, that was streaming HD video test. And as you can tell right here, definitely worked the CPU. Not as much as I thought it would. Not as much as I thought it would. But, let's close out Microsoft Word. It does take a bit of time to close, you can see. Alright, this is a video clip that I took about a year ago. There was a major wildfire that happened in my city last year, and this is a 720p video clip from this actual iPod Touch that I recorded a while back. So I just wanted to kind of run this through real quick and just show you local video playback on this. So let's go ahead and have this fire up. And it is working. I said it's not the fastest system.
So this is the smoke from the Waldo Canyon fire in Colorado Springs. You can see the main smoke from the fire around here. As you're panning around, everything is completely hazy. It smells like a fire is going on, like right around here.
Barbecue.
Yeah, barbecue. And you probably can't really see it in the video, but you can see the smoke drifting in as close as 100 and 150 yards away.
See, right now I've got pretty high CPU core usage here. I would say in the 80s and 90s, so it definitely does spike up. You can tell where I started the video on this graph here
and now
too.
that
So
the smoke is heading our way.
that's where we go. RAM usage is pretty decent though, only 36%. So
okay.
So where we go? So there we go. That's kind of general system performance here. I hope this is the first time I've really done a performance test on video. So hopefully that will give you a good idea. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the video now, and I will be back with gaming benchmark here real quick. So see you in a little bit.